Hey, welcome back, everybody. I am here to welcome Antony Schreurs, right?
Schreurs.
Schreurs.
Yeah, same thing.
All right.
Whatever. Don't matter.
Here, talk to them about yourself.
Hello, my name's Anthony. I'm happy to be on NFL Breakdown with my friend Royce. And he knows a lot about football, so we're going to be getting a good segment today.
Yeah. So we're going to start off our first NFL division segment. This is basically where we're going to go through, basically recap what happened to the teams over the season, and then basically what do they need going into the 2018 season, and what predictions do you have of the team going forward? We're going to start with his team, the New York Giants, who were a sad 3-13. Just overall recap as a fan, what you thought of the season.
Well, I mean, injuries hurt us really badly. Coaching was was not very good, to say the least. I think Eli's aging a little bit, and I think it's showing personally. But I mean, a lot of people thought we were Super Bowl contenders for this year, and I kind of felt the same way because the year before, I thought that we were pretty damn good. It's just that, we had a couple holes and stuff. I think. Can I start about what the issues are with the team personally?
Yeah, just recap the season.
I think that our offensive line needs to improve quite a bit. I think we need a better running game. I'm pretty confident with our wide receivers core. It's definitely better than average, so I think we're good with that. Defensive line probably needs some help, for the defensive tackles. And then our defensive backs are grade A, so I think that we'll be fine with that. And then I guess you could say with special teams, I guess we're fine. So there's no real holes in there. So that's about it, as I can see for right now.
I mean, my biggest takeaway from the New York Giants season was basically it was injuries, as you said earlier. I mean, Odell Beck, losing him was big, especially to the broken ankle. Brandon Marshall, with his sprained ankle, didn't show up again. He decided to go on TV more.
It's an easier job, but
it's true. But overall, the receiving core was weak after the injuries, and it was like you had Sterling Shepard, but he was out for some weeks. You don't really have Evan Ingram. Okay,
he's a rookie. He's
more
gonna be good.
To me, he's more of a receiver. He's not exactly the tight end type. He's very much very
true.
Like slim bodied tight end. That's not what
he's built like a wide receiver. He's tall and thin.
He's not Gronk.
No, he's not Gronk.
So, but overall,
or Bavaro to have a Giants tight end I could think of.
But overall, defensively, you were fine. It wasn't. I mean, they just gave up on the coach, is what they did. They just Ben McAdoo. I can't even remember his name. That's how bad he was.
McAdoo.
That's how bad he was. They gave up on him, and it showed. I mean, you lost to an 0-9 Niners team.
The 0 Niners.
The 0 Niners, exactly. Then you were like, you were so mad about that, you beat Kansas City.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and then from then on, you just collapsed, and then your head coach benched Manning for absolutely no reason.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the whole entire city of New York didn't raid his house or something. It was surprising.
They were about to.
Geno Smith is it's not like with if we had Garoppolo as a backup or Nick Foles or some legit backup. I mean, Geno Smith has been pretty incompetent his whole entire career as far as a football player.
New York, he was a Jet. He was the Jet.
Yeah, when he was a Jet, I mean, he couldn't. Yeah.
But let's get into this. I think we're getting into the 2018 season. We can forget about 2017 for the Giants. They probably want to forget about.
I personally do, so I'm sure they do.
They probably want to forget about everything that occurred with their head coach and everything. But you guys hired Pat Shurmur, who was the Vikings offensive coordinator. You got. I mean, as far as that's concerned, you only got the head coach. You can't sign anyone yet. But overall, you guys have the number 2 pick in the draft.
It's good.
What do you think you guys are going to do with that?
I think we might get Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
I also heard that Baker Mayfield might get drafted, which I don't think would be a bad pick. I mean, he's one of the best. Actually, he's the best quarterback in college. I mean, just because but not to completely judge it off of that. A lot of quarterbacks who win the Heisman end up becoming, amazing NFL quarterbacks. I don't know if we should just base it off of that. I think, personally, what we need, like I said, is running backs or a running back and offensive line. I think that would be our biggest help. I mean, Eli's a good quarterback if you give him time to throw. And so I think if we have a solid offensive line like we did in 2007 and 2011, when you give him time, I mean, he throws dumb picks, but he can throw a lot of touchdowns. I mean, if he's given the proper support.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I agree with the Saquon Barkley pick. It's safe. He's the best. Some people are calling him the best player in the draft.
I could see that.
And he would just help overall. And you have Orleans Darkwa as well. Overall, just having Barkley in the backfield for the Giants with as bad of an offensive line as they have, for all you know, he could make that offensive line look better. For all you know.
Oh, I mean that too. I don't know though. That offensive line is pretty.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. I mean, the only person who probably make that offensive line look good as a quarterback is like Russell Wilson.
I mean, the Denver's defensive line made that offensive line look good. So everything's possible.
We would have been saying that 3 years ago.
Yeah, we wouldn't have. But overall, what positions should they focus on in free agency if they can afford guys? Because I know they spent a lot of money on defensive free agents a couple years ago.
Like I said, I mean, if we can pick up any offensive linemen, that's what I think our biggest issue is. If we could pick up a linebacker or two, that would be nice too. But I think we're okay at linebacker. Yeah. You know, I heard Casillas is he's a free agent, right?
I think so. I'm not
he's
sure.
a free agent. I'm pretty sure he is. We have a bunch of guys on free agency, but like I said, our defensive backs I think are the one thing where we're like, we're good. We don't have to touch it. I can't, see a defensive like a core of defensive backs being much better than that, except for maybe Jacksonville, that I can think of.
No, Jacksonville.
Because in 2015, when we had them, they were the best defensive back core in football, easily.
But Jacksonville's loaded, of course. But in my opinion, I think they need to go for offensive linemen. The Patriots left tackle Nate Solder is going to be out on the market.
He's old though, isn't he?
He's a little older, but he's not bad.
He could work for 3 years. I could see.
He could, yeah, no, but that's your biggest need is left tackle. If you guys can get a left tackle and keep the slow lumbering Eli upright, you'll be all right. But you need, again, a running game and just a defense that can do it. And again, Pat Shurmur is going to be, let's hope, better than Ben McAdoo. I don't think you can get any worse than Ben McAdoo, but
no, you can. You can.
You can, but based off of expectations,
he did take us to the playoffs in 2015. I mean, I guess he's not the biggest negative that we've had as a giant as an organization. I mean, I miss Tom Coughlin, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But now I think we're going to go on to our next team now, and that's the Washington Redskins. They were a 7-9 last year in the division. They just recently got Alex Smith in a trade with the Chiefs. They got rid of one of their corners, Kendall Fuller's now heading over to Kansas City. They sent a third-rounder to Kansas City for Smith. And overall, they underperformed, I would say, for 2017.
I would tend to agree.
And with Kirk Cousins, a guy that had been franchise tagged for 2 straight years, which is brutal, but you were getting paid $25 million for that 1 year.
Everything's all relative. Anybody, if you could pay me $25 million for 2 years, I would be fine. I would almost do it.
But now he's about to get a payday somewhere, wherever he goes. You have a decent defense that was being built over the course of the season, and it improved. But offensively, they lost all of their receivers from last year. They had their best receiver was Terrell Pryor, who last had success with the Browns, which, and other than that, they just underperformed offensively. They didn't have a running back. They were destroyed by injuries. Their offensive line was absolutely in pieces by the end of the season. They just overall had a bad year.
I just wanted to talk about the Alex Smith, them signing Alex Smith. I personally think that Alex Smith is kind of a downgrade to Kirk Cousins.
No, I agree.
Cousins. Yeah, the only person who didn't is Skip Bayless.
No, he said he was a downgrade, but
no, he said that they're more dangerous now with Alex Smith.
Well, they're more dangerous to the Cowboys with Alex Smith. Kirk Cousins could not perform against the Cowboys at all. I think he only won 1 game in the 6 games against the Cowboys he played, and
I'm sure Alex Smith will change that.
He got swept this year. Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins is younger.
Yes, that's the thing.
But Alex Smith I believe anyway, can really bring more athleticism to a team that's offensive line wasn't healthy. But if that offensive line's healthy, Alex Smith could be an upgrade with bad receivers. I mean, look who they had in Kansas City. Their best receiver was Tyreek Hill. And then the other guys you couldn't really name. I can't even remember their names.
I mean, Kansas City, they have Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Washington, they have Jordan Reed.
Yeah, exactly. He's really good. I know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's really you traded one quarterback who was an almost mirror image of the other, but older, which is the downgrade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, very rarely are you going to want to take the older option unless you're dealing with some type of legend, you know, when it comes to quarterback.
But with just the season in general,
it's not the worst thing you could do, but I personally think they should have held on to Kirk. That's my personal opinion.
I don't think they could have. So I thought
cap issues?
Not really cap issues, just more of just frustration. He probably didn't want to get tagged again, and they probably were not going to be able to get another contract extension. And the other thing with the trade, they extended Smith another 4 seasons.
I mean, ultimately, like I said, ultimately it's not that bad, but I just think Kirk Cousins was a better quarterback for the future for them.
No, I completely agree. Yeah. But it was just the fact that they
Alex Smith is solid though. I mean, I don't think he'll win you any rings, but he can get you to the playoffs.
I don't think the Redskins team in general can win any rings. But I mean, really? Can they? No.
I mean, with the lineup they have right now, or just in general?
In general.
I mean, they've done it before.
They've done it before.
But
I mean, can they do it right now?
With their current lineup, no. I mean,
exactly.
To be honest with you, for the past 10 years, if you look at the statistics for the Super Bowl, it's almost always one team. It's so dominant sometimes for certain teams to be going. So,
but going into next season, what do you think they should do as far as the offseason?
The Redskins should do as far as the offseason. Running back.
Yeah, I would say
running back.
They have a committee right now.
Wide receivers.
Oh, definitely they need to get a guy. And I mean, I can't really think of big names out there. Maybe Robinson out of Jacksonville is going to be on there, but he's coming off of a torn ACL.
But I don't. I mean, he. Do you think he might want to stay with the Jaguars though? Because I mean, I personally think
he was by far their best.
I mean,
receiver.
I don't want to get into the Jaguars, but I personally think that I think they might go to the Super Bowl next year because they almost beat the Patriots this year, and this is the first year that they've actually been super legit. So they were just getting started. I mean, next year they're going to be better, and I can't see the Patriots being better than they were this year. I can't even see it.
I can't either.
Yeah,
not with the way their team is. But so I mean, other than that, in my opinion, I think what the Redskins need to do is they need to get guys,
and maybe more depth on the offensive line.
Exactly, that's what I was about to go. Is they need to get guys who can be quality backups when their older offensive linemen are starting to go down. I mean, Trent Williams went down.
Is he really that old though?
He's getting older. He's getting up there.
Yeah, I forget sometimes.
They extended last year. I remember Morgan Moses got extended, and he got hurt this year. And then the entire starter lineup of that offensive line was
was basically the story of the NFL this year. I mean, it was just completely every team is having major injuries all across. I don't understand what it is. I mean, I've never seen injuries like this in football. I mean, this is football too. It's not like we're playing, some other type of sport. Exactly. And I've never seen injuries like this. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was just a crazy year for Washington. But another thing I would go get solid defensive tackles because
I was thinking about defensive line.
Because I know they drafted Jonathan Allen last year. He played well a bit, but overall they didn't have a guy at the interior. I mean, unless you can consider Stacey McGee a guy they can put up there. Looks like you've never heard of that man.
But, I mean, I've heard of him, but I don't know about him extensively.
I don't either. That's what I'm saying.
Tell you his style of play. No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know much about him either. I'm just saying you can't make a defensive line centered around that guy.
No, of course not.
If it's not a name.
Is there any defensive tackles you could pick up?
Yeah, no, there are a few, but we can pick up on this in the next segment. After this, if we want to finish up the Redskins, we can.
Yeah.
But after that, we're going to hit up the Dallas Cowboys and your Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. Stay tuned.